left hook, right hook, hook to the body, left hook to the body, right hook to the body, jab, double jab, right hook to the head, left hook to the head, straight right. I mean, what punch didn't Canelo land tonight, man? I mean, I expected it to be a lot better than what it was. I thought Chavez was going to step in the ring and he was going to do what he did against Sergio Martinez, man. I thought that he would at some point get upset that he was taking punishment and move in like he did against Sergio, even though that fight had a lot of bad blood in it, and Sergio was insulting this guy a lot and insulting his pride and just basically telling the world that this guy was a fraud and he wasn't a boxer, and he wanted to get in there and give him a boxing lesson. You didn't really get that from Canelo at any point during their press conference. There wasn't any real bad blood there. It wasn't a huge buildup to this fight. Canelo was in top shape, man. He looked good. He was strong all throughout the fight. He had his moments where he was tired. I can see where he was tired at least twice during the fight. And I just thought that he would apply more punishment to Chavez. I thought he really would get in there and punish him, which he did. He did punish the guy, but I just thought that it would be a lot worse than what it was. I could see where he let up, especially in the sixth round, where he backed up against the ropes and practically begged this guy, Chavez, to come in and hit him. And Chavez just wouldn't do it. He wouldn't let his hands go at all. Usually when you see a fighter do that, you would say, well, he's afraid of taking punishment. He's afraid of getting hit, due to the fact that this guy is fast. He is strong. I just don't want to get hit with anything over the top. I don't want to get hit with anything from underneath, uppercut wise. I don't want to take a liver shot or whatever the case may be. You can see these guys thinking about it and backing off. But it just wasn't the case. For Chavez tonight, that wasn't the case. He just didn't plan to let his hands go at all, and it just turned out to be a bad look for Canelo, man. Even though he went in there and did what he had to do, you could see where he initially wanted to go in there and bring his best, but he also didn't want to I guess embarrass this guy, or when a team is getting ran over. If you've ever played sports before and you see a team getting ran over a lot, they have a mercy rule, especially in football, where when the guys are running up the score, they tell you that you can't score, especially in little league games. You can't score anymore. Your team can't score any more touchdowns. It's just bad sportsmanship to do that. And that's what it pretty much was for Canelo and Chavez tonight. Canelo was in there doing everything that he wanted to do, and he could have did more. He could have really damaged this guy, but you could just see the mercy there, where he didn't want to shame this guy like that. He didn't want to bring it. He just didn't want it to look bad sportsmanship wise. He just didn't. And he let up, and he kind of let the guy in a little bit more in a few more rounds, and let Chavez kind of go to the body or what have you. But Chavez had no intentions of doing much fighting tonight, man. He just didn't. And it wasn't a good look. And the reason why I say that, man, is because you want to have a decent look. Even though he was in top shape and he was ready to go, Canelo, that is, he looked good throwing his punches. He was sharp. He was strong. All of those things. It's not a good look when you're getting ready to go into a fight of huge magnitude against somebody like Triple G, man. Your opponent, when you pick these guys, they gotta be able to bring out the best in you. People need to see where you've had adversity, and you saw that in Triple G's last fight against Jacobs. Jacobs pushed him. No matter what people say, no matter how they say, Triple G went in there and embarrassed him. He beat him down. He did this. He did that. It didn't happen in that fight. If you really love boxing and you really watched it, it just didn't happen. You could see Triple G being confused. You can see him being lost at times, especially when Jacobs was switch hitting on him. He switched his stance and he started boxing from a whole nother stance, and that confused Triple G. But he made adjustments to stay in the fight. He never put himself in a position of where he was not in the fight. He kept coming. He kept trying to throw his combinations. He was tired. He was frustrated. He just couldn't get to Jacobs as much as he wanted to outside of the jab. He really wanted to be able to put together combinations and look good and look extremely strong. And he landed some good shots, but it just wasn't what we are accustomed to seeing in a Triple G fight. When he goes in there, he walks these guys down. He punishes these guys. He puts them away with no problem. He did knock Jacobs down, all of that good stuff, but it just wasn't what you really wanted to see Triple G do. And that's credit to Jacobs coming in prepared and ready to throw this guy off. But we saw a little bit of opposition there for Triple G in his last two fights, with Jacobs and with what's my man's name, Kell Brook. You know, you saw some opposition there, and you saw this guy bounce back. But with Canelo, in his last two fights, you haven't seen it. You've seen where Canelo has improved as far as his offensive attack and his defense. You've seen him improve, but again, the opposition is not there enough to really see where to see where we've seen the guy in trouble, where we've seen him bounce back when the opposition is coming on strong. You know, we haven't really seen him like that. So now you get into a fight of this magnitude in September, in just a few months from now, and you're gonna have to do it in this fight, and that could spell trouble for him, big trouble for him. And that's why you could see Triple G when they asked him if he had any last words. Max Kellerman asked him, and he goes, with pure confidence, "See you, good luck." Good luck in the fight, man, because he already knows that in this guy's literally in his last three fights, he hasn't had any solid competition to push him to where he's seen something different from Canelo. I know he saw the fatigue there after the sixth round between the seventh and the eighth. I know he saw that, man, and he's going to be pressing him. Chavez could have literally pressed him with his height and his reach. He could have been throwing a jab all night. He could have threw the straight right. He could have went to the body. It's a lot of things he could have did in there. He could have leaned on him. He could have done. It's a lot of things he could have did. He could have made it a sloppy fight even. If he would have did that, it would have been better than what he didn't do. And that way we could have seen where Canelo had really game planned for him, instead of worrying about his hand speed. Instead of, worrying about how he was going to look when he threw his combinations. You could tell he worked on his footwork, but he didn't have to do much because Chavez didn't do much to cause him to twist and turn. You could see where he was ready to counter, but, it wasn't much there for him to counter, to work on. So he couldn't get that work in. And I know that had to be a little taxing for him. But, after all is said and done, fight is over. And, we're getting ready to move forward and see the fight that we all been waiting on in September, man. But anyway, I'm over my limit. I had to get in that, and I had to put this video out for you guys, get ready to hop in the shower and all this good stuff, man. But let me know what you guys think, man. Let me know what you saw, what you liked, what you didn't like. I said it was going to be a stoppage in the fight. It should have, because it was a waste of everybody's time. And it would have been had Canelo decided that he wanted to punish this guy, you know, down the stretch, but he didn't. You know, he brought in the mercy rule. So anyway, man, hit me up. You know, peace. You guys have a good night, man. Hit me up.